Hello, viewers. I'm SB,
And I'm Amabel.
and welcome back to Blueprints, day 18, apparently. Outside first, right? We're doing this thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. We found last time we found a room here that was not necessarily like the most useful thing in the world. Although it gave us 5 coins to start with. But it sure was interesting. Ooh. Okay, so new room versus tool shed. Tool shed's like phenomenal. But new room.
New room with 8
New room that
class.
puts
I don't
rooms in
even-
the pool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it has to.
Yeah.
Are all these outer rooms just kind of rad?
Well, I assume so. Is there anything actually going on in this room itself? Well, there is a... But not the other one? No, not the other one. And the other one does have a pipe going to it. That's very interesting. There's something under
I would
these
feel better if I
pipes.
felt that was a permanent thing, not a.
Closing address. For the last 38 years, it has been my pleasure of serving as your schoolmaster in this humble little facility. And, meager as it may look by modern standards, I think most of us who spent our afternoons here will readily admit that we are reluctant to see this small piece of Reddington history go. I first wish to thank Lady Clara Epson, our most gracious host today, for not only paying attention in my classes those many years ago, but for all the fundraising she has done on behalf of our community and children. Without her, Reddington Elementary would still be a distant and blurry vision, a vision that I dared not even dream. That dreamer is, of course, the incomparable Mrs. Peterson, our future principal and my reluctant successor, who, I might add, forced me to give this speech, so I think I'll end my praise of her there, though she deserves much more, I'll admit. To the architect of our new school, the Baron Sinclair, thank you for following in your father's footsteps in building Reddington yet another school. It's a weird way to... Like, we did not really need this. We have so many schools already. And for also allowing the use of your own private residence and floor plans to serve as our interim facility until the new campus is completed in March. A decision I'm certain he will immediately regret tomorrow morning when he hears the children running through his halls. You cannot let children into that mansion.
No!
What a terrible idea. And lastly, I wish to thank all my students, many of you here today whom I have not seen in years, whose faces I will remember as young and manners wild. Those here whose parents before them I have also taught, and whose children I may yet. Without you, I would have had a lifetime of quiet peace, and yet what is all the peace in the world if you have no one to bestow demerits upon? It's like... The person... So it's definitely one guy who did all the writing, right? The character voices are not all the same, and like kudos on that. But they all don't know how to use punctuation in the exact same way, because that's a thing that guy doesn't realize that he's doing. He probably doesn't understand that he doesn't know how periods work. And in this case, like, it's actually... This is 2 sentences. These 3 sentences. But because... That middle one is a fully that's what do you call it? My brain wants to say submissive clause. It's not that, but dependent. It's a dependent clause. It's not super clear to me how these 3 things are supposed to be grafted together as an idea, and it does kind of muddy the meaning a little bit. Just like get somebody who speaks English as a first language to look over your shit for you. And
Yeah,
I know that's obviously I'm being too harsh, but like, for real, I don't understand the like pervasive inability to handle commas and periods in games writing. It's so fucking weird. Thank you all sincerely. My time here has meant the world to me, and if I am still standing in 8 months, I will see you all at the slightly less melancholic ribbon cutting ceremony next year. Remember to give Mrs. Peterson her gift. So,
Better joke to end.
or a joke at all, really.
I mean, there is like attempts at humor in here, but it's the writing's very slack. And this is my problem with the writing in the tomb as well, is like there's too much of it. It
Yeah,
needs to be a little tighter, a little crisper. And a lot of these things would have more punch and would the jokes would deliver.
within a timely manner. Ah, get it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like I thought I took some of that as the Baron's voice, especially that thing where like he was stacking adjectives and adverbs.
Yeah. I mean I did. It's just because it's what a lot of the other writing feels like, other than the children's books, which do feel spot on. Um, though I guess most of the other writing has been from the Baron, hasn't it?
Yeah,
So never mind. I will reserve the. At the very least, the Baron's not a great writer.
yeah, that's fair. I think that's fair and also intentional. Do we want to
How interminable would be his Baron
do
bafflers?
we do we want to pull library right away, or do we want to accumulate some coins?
Um,
What you know what I'm
library.
gonna do? I'm gonna pull library, but I'm not gonna go in there yet. Let's see if we can get some gems. I don't know that do we want to take this? Do we want to like dead end this right now for the storeroom?
It does give you the gem.
Key and a gem give you a lot of freedom. I don't know though. I'm gonna. Well, you know what? I shouldn't have taken the corridor. I should have taken the green room. What am I thinking? The corridor should really be left for later in the house. But yeah, this is kind of what I was hoping, is that we would find a room that's going to deliver a little bit more and still have doors. Okay, I gotta like actually get this proper though. So let's get this right.
Okay. Complete silence.
My focus is present. This box is not empty. This box contains gems. All statements that contain the word gems are false. Okay, so if this is true, then that's false. And this would also be false, and that's fine. If this is false, then so is this.
Uh,
And this would also be false.
hang on. Yeah.
Right? So this can't...
The black box is
What? Oh, you...
all statements that contain the word gems are false.
Right.
So
I'm doing the thing again. Right. So this is false. So this... Yeah, this is false because if it was true, it would be false. Right?
Okay. All right.
So it is not the case that all statements that contain the word gems are false, but that's like no information. All that is saying that we know that we don't know that.
Well, if we know that that's false,
Yeah.
does that not mean necessarily that this one, the white one, is true? Because if the white one,
Well, no,
if the white one is
logically,
false,
no, it
then
doesn't.
The black one is
No, it doesn't mean that. What it means is that it's not the case that all statements that contain the word gems are false. This being false doesn't necessarily make its negation true. Those are two different ideas. It could still be the case that any individual statement containing the word gems could be false. However, I don't think necessarily that the person who made this game has the command of formal logic. You know what I mean? Like, I think he probably thinks that it works the way you're saying it works.
Yeah.
This is probably the gem box, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. If this one's true, This one's false. And this one's false, which is fine. Yeah. Okay, at this point I feel more comfortable pulling from the library. I want to be able to make use of the thing we pull. Also, an apple.
Sick.
The history of Orindia.
Yeah, I guess.
Well, I was not prepared for the attic, apparently. I mean, the Great Hall's an interesting room, but I'm not really interested in getting into the antechamber right now that we know what's in it. Until we know how to get to the basement, it doesn't serve any purpose.
Yeah.
I am sort of curious what this does. Launder currency is not by itself super clear. Anything interesting going on in here? We're not allowed to take the big tub of bleach. Changes all your gems to coins, all your keys to gems, all your keys to coins. But they all cost a pretty significant amount of coins to run in the first place. I guess the idea is like,
yeah,
to give you something to do if you hit the vault. Because it's quite unrealistic to think that you're gonna get a lot of value out of this otherwise. I mean, we've had runs where there were like 12, we had 12 gems or whatever.
Yeah, like there's certainly going to be synergies in the runs. I think again, if we were able to set more of our initial position, we could plan for and lean into those synergies more.
Pantry probably makes sense given, hey, an orange. We could actually make some decent use of having a fair number of coins here. So the den seems like a winner because it's got the doors in the right orientations. Nothing unusual here. I guess let's see what the room is off of the parlor. This is not a terrible time for the indoor nursery, actually.
Okay.
We've not been in the indoor version of this yet. Although it looks like it's not hugely different. The cribs have been replaced with flower beds. The weird toys are mostly the same. There's a white pawn in here. And I guess, yeah, that seems like it. Well, we know we will not, in fact, draw the thing off of the reading nook. So if we take courtyard...
Well, since we will always do it, you think we'll get a second library?
No.
Okay.
I'm going to go ahead and spend the steps here to pull the sprouted gems. Since we just spent our last gem. Alright. Alright, courtyard's got a chest and a digging spot. And sadly, it looks like no free items in it.
Well, that's rude.
Yeah, can you believe it? All right, while drafting in Classroom, you may draw new floor plans one time for each room with that symbol on it in your house. Unfortunately, this is not a very good place for a classroom. It's an okay spot for a West Wing hall. I mean, I don't hate the storeroom here either, but obviously that we would
Okay.
be very vulnerable to the courtyard dead ending if we don't take the West Wing hall. What do you think?
It's early enough in the run where I would actually go for storeroom. I would risk it, but that's me.
All right. Risk it for what exactly? Like
I mean, to have a
to have a
key
key.
in case we need a key, and
Okay. Well, hallway would get us another key. The green room would get us more gems. Bedroom's not really sensible. If we did this, would we want to run back to the nursery right now? Or would we... We have enough gems to draft any gem room we've ever seen. But
yeah,
getting further and further from the nursery is kind of like... I don't know. Or we could just put down the hallway and grab a key here. I guess I think I like that
I
better.
guess let's do that. Yeah.
Keys are usually the thing that kills us. Sometimes it's gems. Okay. It's worth noting that this effect is the symbol on the classroom, so that's kind of interesting. But this seems like a great place to put a classroom.
Yeah.
Freddy, color worksheet. Fill each object with its correct color. B minus. My favorite color is red. B plus. My favorite color is red. Amabel? Something
I'm starting to
something
worry.
unsettling about these children. Big red flag. This is grade 1.
There's an apple.
Interesting that the 8 over there is tilted on its side. There is an apple. You're right. We should eat the apple. Am I allowed to do the worksheet? I'm not allowed to do the worksheet. So that hourglass sign is like the flag of a nation, maybe? The thing we saw in the locket
Okay.
and on the journal in the ladyship's bedroom. That's interesting.
Okay.
Caleb, you must really like red. Hmm. I worry about Caleb a small amount. Each color is only used twice. This is a cute hint for this.
Yeah.
One thing I do appreciate is that they have hinted a lot of the puzzles in multiple different ways. So we can figure out the correct color of these flags from these worksheets, right? And I guess that might be worth doing. So this item has a 9. This thing has a 9 of 12 on it. Presumably the lizard is the wrong color, and those blueprints aren't
So
supposed
is
to be
the
yellow.
blueprint.
So that's 2 of the mistakes there, which means 2 of these flags are right. And there's only supposed to be 2 of each color thing. So if the lizard's supposed to be green, presumably, then that flag down there isn't green. But these other 2 flags are right.
Okay.
Right? The mountainy flag is yellow and the flag with the check on it is orange. Do you agree with that logic?
Yeah. So that means the things wrong are the. Yep. Yeah. So
Okay.
so that we know that flag isn't green.
Okay. Do you want to make a note
All
of
right.
the correct colors of these things in case we need it someday?
Yeah. Just the yellow, orange,
Okay, and then let's
not
see if we can
green.
find... Here they've got this colored orange, which we know can't be right. But that would make it the other... Actually, just looking at the objects, that would make this the other purple thing, right? Because the grapes are the only thing here that's naturally purple. And that makes sense because her ladyship's room is very purple, which I thought was just because bedrooms are purple. But like the hourglass on the cover of her diary and everything. Okay, so the hourglass flag is like a purple. Yeah, you don't know shit about shit. It does clarify that none of the flags are red, I guess. Do you think there are 6 colored circles here?
Mm-hmm.
You think?
I think what?
The in the utility closet.
Oh. Okay, so if we do the colors in that order, which are blue...
I took a screenshot.
Okay. Yeah, okay.
That could be telling us something. Come here, you. Ugh. You know, if Simon would just attempt to jump, a little bit of jumping in Simon's life, I think would be a real good thing. I do believe we should probably coat check our... I'm a little worried. Like I definitely wanted it to come up earlier in the run, and I for sure am worried about claiming it, and then I guess we could just recheck it, claiming it, and there only being one door left in the manor. Metal detector, please. Thank you. Took us a little longer to find it than I would have liked. Yeah, there's nothing going on except the lever inside. Okay, so as long as we put off gathering this star, right, we're gonna have the observatory trying to feed us a dead end. But right now is not the time, I think, to mess with it. I guess we take the Nook. Aha! A loose coin. Alright, spend that key immediately. Well, would you look at that? It does mean always library.
What? Oh, who is right? Who is right for
they
once?
Were very
is Amabel.
They were very explicit about that not being, about there only being one of each room in the thing. And
yeah, but generally,
I'm sorry that I didn't assume that the game was lying.
Let me tell you something that I know from this thing called board game.
Detective Bon Margle checked the book out again. So, some months later.
Something I know about from board games is you have a general rule, and then you have whenever a card or something disobeys that rule, contradicts that rule, you go with what's on the card. So the room contradicts the rule, but the room lets break that rule.
There physically should only be one of those cards. Amabel.
I love
How about that? All right, the history of Orindia. This book was reviewed and cleared for publication by the Fen Aries Central Board of Education. Has been edited to conform to our department's standards, including the omission of sections deemed inaccurate or unsuitable for public dissemination.
Well, that's...
By Caleb Banning. Jesus Christ. Forward. The name used to designate the realm of the Eastern Waters is no longer known to the average citizen of the elder generation. We must permit our leaders to enjoin us to abandon our past. Well, Most historians mark the beginning of the First Era, often noted as Agera, by the ascension of the first king, whose name Oris would later grace the burgeoning township in which he was crowned. Oris was known before his coronation as a prominent merchant lord of considerable means and affluence, whose sway in the region made him the ideal candidate for the unification of the surrounding provinces. Regrettably, history is not always forthcoming, and the surviving records of those bygone days are mostly limited to trade agreements and sales receipts. Nevertheless, we can deduce from these ledgers that Oris had but one aim: expansion. The territory spread forth from the heart of Oris, and by the end of the 1st century, a new kingdom was born.
This is cute.
So, the first king redacted, whose name Oris, what is in the redaction? Like, grammatically, it doesn't make any sense for there to be anything there. If it was like the first king, his surname, whose name would later grace the burgeoning township, that's like very tortured, right?
Sweetheart, the first king of blank.
Oh, first king of blank.
Because they've already redacted the
original name of the place. Okay. I suppose that makes sense. Second Era. It was the 4th king who split this vast domain in 3 equal shares, 3 realms for his 3 children. Yep, that's a whole sentence by itself. How dare you tell me there's not a verb in that? To the eldest, he granted the fields and mountains of his great-grandfather, the middle province, and the heartspring of the kingdom. The eldest accepted the gift. To the youngest, he bestowed upon him the realm of Arch Ares, the land of northern storms, a wild and untamed expanse which at the time was not as developed, but a good deal more vast than his eldest brother's lot. And to his middle child, his only daughter, he gifted her the southern region of Eraja, a land steeped in tradition.
The 3 realms for 3 children, that replicates the way people talk, which is not always in complete sentences, is a weird thing for a history book.
No, people talk in complete sentences. Written language is a codification of the way people speak. This is perfectly fine. It's just not a period at the end of the word shares. This guy only knows 2 punctuation marks, and he uses the period for everything else, but that's just a colon. You just put a colon there, and everything he wrote is fine.
Yeah.
Arguing with me that the...
No, I do think it's wrong and bad. I'm not arguing that part.
To be clear, you absolutely are. So, the land of northern storms, Arch Ares, is the one with the mountains, the mountain symbol. Eraja is the hourglass symbol. I'm saying this. I can't help but notice you're just looking at me and not writing or typing anything, which is weird, considering.
Okay.
And we're really not allowed to know the name of the middle one. As the Second Era drew to a close, the 3 sovereign realms had achieved a period of remarkable progress and prosperity. Each of these distinct regions, ruled by their respective sibling monarchs, had blossomed, cultivating the bountiful resources of their lands and developing a unique character and culture that set them apart from one another. Despite those differences, the sibling monarchs managed to maintain friendly relations throughout their lives and were known for their cooperation in matters of trade and transport. The succeeding generations of their heirs continued that tradition, and the Third Era was defined by commerce between the 3 realms, further strengthening their bond and laying the foundation for the promise of a prosperous and bright future. As the Fourth Era. As the kingdom entered the Fourth Era, a different kind of ruler took the reins of power. King Deciphering III was a king who was often seen drinking, a sight that shocked not only the gentry in the court, but the masses as well. Am I not allowed to just open this? Okay, here we go. Baron Sinclair, thank you so much for your cooperation with our department in this investigation. We know our presence is never convenient, especially for someone of your social status, so it means all the more that you are not only tolerant, but also willing to aid our efforts in getting this business done as quickly as possible. We are returning with this letter the book you lent us, though I must confess it was not as much help as I had hoped. I had heard that your library of rare and restricted books was quite extensive, and I was told by a reliable source that if a first edition and uncensored copy of the history of Orindia could be found, it would likely be found within the Baron's own collection. But perhaps I was misinformed. Still, part of me thinks that you may have given me the censored copy as a jest, a taste, if you will, for the bureaucrat of their own medicine. If that is the case, then I say, well done, fair play, and perhaps on my next visit we'll have a laugh about this after you have given me the actual manuscript. Until then, Detective Bon Margle, Redguard. The comma usage is also pretty bad.
Yeah.
There's a lot of just like, hey, this thing reads perfectly fine. Let me mangle the meaning a little bit and see if I can't make it confusing. Desolates was renowned as the king of no one when, when he made the decision to move Wing Castle and court behind. It's a V, maybe? Ving Castle?
It's a V, yeah.
Not half of a W. The people were overjoyed by this choice, and were those that viewed the king's conduct to be unbecoming of his common folk. These voices planted the seed which took root in grand city of Fen. The era of ruin. After the passing of King Desolates III, the fourth era came to an abrupt end. Thankfully, the king died. On the very next day, the 6th of October... Listen, I mean, I'm all for Dead Monarch. Hooray. The Prince Learson of Fen declared himself the true monarch. This declaration was bolstered by a number of supporters, due to the fact that Desolates IV shared little of his virtues. As the prospect of civil war seemed inevitable, the realm's regiments were hastily recalled from the frontiers to stamp out and put an end to the Fensurrection.
That's pretty good.
However, instead of restoring order, what ensued was a savage and merciless campaign against their own people. The gardens of Fen, once a center of splendor, were transformed into a battlefield, as the cries of the innocent echoed through the city's streets, stained in red. Hey, that's my favorite color. The brutality of the pacification of Fen did not go unnoticed by neighbors. As sympathy for the city surged, allies came forward to lend support. Among them was the general of the Northern Regiment, who, sickened by the barbaric actions of the other battalions, joined forces with Prince Learson to form a formidable army. Together, they leveraged their political influence and favors to persuade the nearby realms of Arch-Ares and Nuance to join their cause. Nuance is the heck of a name for a region. However, even with the tide turning in their favor, victory did not come easy. The War of the Fifth Era lasted 22 long years and saw buried 1 in every 3 men. Prince Learson himself added another number to the casualties. However, even in death, he had won. Oris had fallen, and with it, the realm. The black flags that had flown for 5 eras were burned, and in their place red banners were hoisted in favor of the fallen of Fen. The few remaining members of the former royal family fled in fear of their lives to the south, forever exiled. The current era. Today, the realms inherited by the 3, Fen-Ares, Arch-Ares, and Eraja, once again stand united as allies. So we have the current name for that area. Mm-hmm. Though the distance between our peoples has grown, our connection to this land remains as strong as ever. The spruce and birch that span across our realms serve as a constant reminder that we all share a common past. 6 sentences redacted. For this is, despite everything else, a land rich in history, a land of myth and wonder, a land that sprung forth the greatest empire the world has ever seen, the land of our fathers, of our mothers, and of our children. Well, now that's interesting. A dedication, a slogan. Dedication would probably not be at the end of the book.
No.
Well, yeah, there's a lot of detail there.
Yeah. And you know that I will be positive that wasn't bad.
Mhm.
I've had some. I was worried about like a big lore dump with the quality of the writing, but you know what? Doing that with the censored sentences, I thought had a lot of charm and humor to it.
And it obscured a lot of the bad punctuation, actually.
Yeah, good job.
Well, I guess let's start here. We're very slightly less likely to draw locked rooms over here. So Chapel gives us a straight through. Boudoir runs us up onto the next level. We don't have a compelling use for our coins at the moment, aside from the laundry room, and it's hard to imagine getting all the way back to the front of the house.
Yeah.
I am inclined to take the chapel and take the straight through.
Okay.
Bedroom, not terrible. Dark room gives us. I'm always a little nervous with the dark room in a position where a dead end room would be like really bad. The other thing we could do is if we think the run's going to end soon anyway, we could just take the observatory to kill the dead end rooms effect, so that we can get back to taking this more often.
Okay.
Yeah,
I say let's do that.
Yeah, I kind of think we gotta get past that. The only way out is through, unfortunately. All right. Oh, it didn't draw in the rest of the. All right.
Oh, that's
disappointing.
Yeah, that's less fun.
Would we rather open this door or that door? I guess if there are things coming off of this, they're more likely to be unlocked themselves. Kitchen, I guess. We might even be able to buy like a reasonable number of steps, potentially. Not really, actually. Add morning room to today's draft pool. That's kind of neat. All right, well, only 3 steps I think is probably not worth spending coins on. And that is locked despite being so much further back. That's a real shame. Well, okay, so the only rooms we have left are locked. And there's not really anything
and we don't have anywhere to
for us to do at all. There's a bunch of gems in the indoor nursery at this point. No, there's not. We didn't draft another green room even. All right, well, let's go throw something in the coat check, and I guess that's that. Throw our metal detector back in the coat check. Blueprints. We got to read a book. And it was a cool book with lots of information in it. Please receive this metal detector.
Now, so the writer only has 2 punctuation marks, as we've established.
Yeah.
And isn't quite using them right. Now, if we gave the writer a 3rd punctuation mark, do you think it would help?
The writer has access to all the punctuation marks. I don't...
Are we sure?
I don't know how to parse whatever the hell you would call this thing that you're doing right now.
I don't know either.
I can't even
improvising.
I can't even tell if this is a bit or not. Like,
well, here's the thing. Do you think it would help our detecting if we gave him an interior bag?
Okay, this was the point of this.
I love you. You're welcome.
You headed up to there. Okay, I love you too. Let's go have a look. Where is the... It's over here. Okay. Just real quick, have a look at this. I'm not allowed to interact with it in any way. Yep, similarly, nothing here. Okay. Well, I'm sure if we can figure out how to turn on the other one and we get them both turned on the same day in a way that we don't have any direct control over because blueprints, then, you know, it'd probably be pretty cool. Something cool would probably happen. Call it a day.
I'm going to assume that there's going to be another permanent addition, another gate.
Well, I mean, once we figure out how to open the gate to the apple orchard, that's probably permanent, right? There would be no sense in it not being permanent because if it is a combination lock, then we'll always be able to unlock it.
Right.
That said, that doesn't prevent them from making us pick up the winding key every time and other things like that. So who knows?
Okay, so I'd say this time if they offer us the tool shed, no matter how cool the other rooms are, let's get that tool shed.
Yeah, the tool shed's very good. The special items are just extremely powerful. And the thing is, because blueprints, they're not always very powerful, right? Like, sometimes you're going to take a shovel and it's not going to be that cool. The sledgehammer in particular, I think, is a little bit like feast or famine. I think it would be a little harder to get no value from the shovel. There are dirt spots in a lot of rooms. And especially if you're drafting green rooms, which...
That bird was so good.
Which it feels like I want to be drafting green rooms anyway.
Tool shed.
Is that hammer and shovel that we get to start with? That's pretty good. Yeah, that feels like it could result in a lot of extra stuff as we begin our play here. Apologies for these hiccups that appear to be coming on out of nowhere. I'm just looking.
Oh no, they're adorable. Don't apologize.
They're probably pretty annoying eventually. I'm just looking around for dirt to dig out here. Since
that has not been my experience after 3 years with you.
They annoy me so quickly. It's hard for me to imagine them not annoying everyone else. That's, I think, part of where that comes from. You want that reading nook right away?
Yeah.
All right.
Because it's a key.
All right, we're going to do it, but I'm going to go the other way first. We're going to try to gather 3 gems before coming back this time. I mean, we should take this right now, right? As much as it is a little bit of a bummer to dead end a path. Retrieving the metal detector before we take even one real step into the mansion, that's probably going to yield a lot of items overall.
This is starting to feel like a run.
Where is the thing that you are detectorating? Ah.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Well, don't really want to take the drawing room, but these other ones are dead ends. All right.
Yeah.
I'm trying to gain gems here, to be clear. Yeah, we gotta I need rooms to go places. All right, well, I guess we're just gonna have to settle for the parlor. At least the parlor's got some gems in it. It's got another door that might have something in it, and we're gonna get this logic puzzle and totally nail it. All right, gems are in the black box. Every statement with the word black is false. Gems are in the blue box. All right. Well, if this is true, the gems are in the blue box. If this were to be true, I mean, that's false. And then this could be either way, really. If this were false, when it says, like I was interpreting this like with the, the English meaning of these words. But I guess what it could mean is that every statement among these three statements is condition, It's actually a little ambiguous, and that does have a way different logical meaning. Should probably clarify of these three statements, What do you think, Amabel?
Yeah. Well, and again, with the white box, it's the same thing as that black box before because it has the word on it.
If it means every statement among these three statements, then it itself. So this has to be false. So the other statement with the word black could be true.
Yeah, I'm thinking they're in the black box.
All right. There's a little bit of logical ambiguity based on the fact that we don't know 100% what is meant by every. And I know that sounds weird, but
I assume I'm assuming if a statement is paradoxical where it can never be true, it therefore is false.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
Sledgehamms. Oh, wow.
Yeah, all right.
That's a good chest. Sledgehammer paying off already. All right, so we have 3 gems. We have what it would take to draft some pretty weird rooms out of the library. We're doing pretty all right on... Oh, magnifying glass. Okay. Still don't actually know if this is useful, but...
Library just dead ends the run, though,
it
doesn't it?
Yes, it's actually horrible. So spare green room, I think, is a little better than hallway.
Yeah.
We have 2 dice if we need them. This is probably with the 2 dice, this is probably a pretty good opportunity to try to make the boiler room thing happen.
Okay.
And this gives us 3 doorways now to work with. So I think we just want to try to make this happen, right? So none of these are the thing we want. None of these are the thing we want. Okay, there it is.
Aha! Aha!
All right, so first things first, we got to get the power running here. Don't even have to turn anything. It's alive! Say Amabel.
Yeah.
Do you remember what we translated that note to mean? One of the levers had to get pulled before the other lever, right? Did you write that down? Oh. Well, look at that. Through the magnifying glass, the letters are actually just on this chart. This is not merely a magnifying glass.
Push 3 up after 9.
3 up after 9.
So
and
9
with
and then
no
3.
other instructions, I guess we assume that that's the whole set.
Yeah.
Okay, this is interesting. What have we done here? We have successfully run the power to that door.
Okay.
Okay.
That's pretty
Oh,
good.
permanently. The Blackbridge Grotto has been powered and permanently unlocked. Each day you may access one offline terminal from the network. Okay. So first of all, experiment setup, right? When you spend 2 or more gems drafting a room, each time you find trash while digging or immediately, lose 10 steps and gain 20 gold is certainly something. Add 3 aquariums to today's draft pool. I hate that we can't see the map. So we're on 0 hallways right now.
Yeah.
There's no good reason for Tab not to bring up the map during experiment setup the way it does at literally all other times. Well, maybe not literally all, but pretty much all other times. So I don't know. What do you think? Spend gems, get keys? I'm a little leery of lose 10 steps, but money is good. Again, I really like to look at the map here to see what our layout of rooms is. But it feels to me like it's one of these two and the top one here.
Oh, okay.
No, do you disagree?
Yeah, let's do this. No, let's do the top for A and B.
Okay. All right, so we can access one offline terminal, it says. Is that a thing that's true in the grotto, or is that a thing that's generally true just from the network anywhere?
That's a good question.
One offline terminal may be accessed using the Blackbridge protocol. So we don't actually know what the shelter terminal even is, right? We've never been down in the shelter, so I'd like to see. And I don't think the things that the other computers do are particularly valuable. There's a time lock safe. There's a radiation monitor. If the reading is 12 USV or higher, emergency protocol will initiate. All doors in the house will automatically unlock. Well, now isn't that interesting? The readings are low. Okay, but maybe we can monkey with the sensor somehow or something. The shelter's time lock safe can be accessed by setting an unlock date and time. You can use any date and time as long as it's at least 1 hour in the future. Once unlocked, the time lock safe will remain open for 4 hours. We probably shouldn't mess with this unless we actually have physical access to the shelter, right?
Yeah.
Let's see. That makes sense to me. Okay. But so now we did a thing there, and that seems pretty valuable. We want to make sure that we have the steps necessary to get to that room. I don't know what the point of this could possibly be. Test 205 at atmospheric pressure 93 kPa in Mount Holly freezer. Randolph M. Technician. I'm just going to throw on my my list here. Okay. And it looks like there's not a lot else to do in here. Well, let's see what is out of the foundation entrance here. So we can go ahead and reroute this. We have a lot of items now. I would actually really like to see the workshop. Not a bad position for a hallway.
Okay.
Do we want to also unlock this door? Yeah, because there's a key waiting for us in the hallway, and we still have another key. The terrace is interesting here, because we have access to this already. I think I kind of like the terrace here.
All right.
And then we can step out on the terrace and probably do at least a little bit of snooping.
No dirt.
No dirt. Well, it's
not very much dirt this time.
It's a big stone terrace.
Okay, but there's also dirt in a bunch of rooms. So
Hi. Here's something. With your book. I wonder, can the garage appear on this side of the house? I think we've only ever seen the garage in the West Wing, right?
Yeah.
Because I don't know. I don't know how to get out of the house into the east yard. Is all I'm thinking. Well, the courtyard doesn't dead end us, and it often has both dirt piles and trunks. So this seems like a winner. Some coins. Okay. A tin can. Delicious. Bunch of gems that we may still need, potentially. Greater chance of finding items in green rooms. Hopefully that applies to the veranda itself here.
All right.
Oh, the veranda's been very good to us. That's lovely. Oh. And a great big turnip. Honestly, like, we could hardly have asked for more there. That was really nice. And the door here is not even locked. And we've never been in the greenhouse before.
It does dead end us.
It does dead end us.
No, it doesn't.
Well, it dead ends this route. The hallways, yeah, we still have one door out of the hallway.
Yeah.
We do have 2 dice as well. So that hallway room, like, we can find something safe out of the hallway. I kind of want to take the greenhouse because this is
okay.
This is one of those things where we're still seeing new rooms, right? Oh. The south door for the thingy. And we have found a broken lever at some point. I don't remember where at all, but some of these weird gem flowers. Another delicious turnip. Oh, page 5. Trees found inside will never shade the gems that shine in night and rain. The clue you hold cannot be paid with gems nor coin, so toss away these sheets you find a worthy trade. Sheets is the bolded.
Okay, so the first 5 words are first words on the sheets.
And the last word is message.
Yeah.
First
Words on the
first words
sheets.
on the
Blank,
sheets.
blank message.
Okay. Are the message. Speak
So,
the message. Something.
do you have pictures
Yep, I
of
sure do. Hold
the
on a second.
previous
I'm
sheets?
trying to. This fucking ping is driving me crazy. What are you responding to?
Your face.
There it is. Sorry. Yes, I absolutely do have pictures of all the sheets. Okay, so first words on the sheets. Let's pull up the old Steam screenshot library here.
Okay, this one is trees. Is the first
This one
word.
is trees. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, and 4. So if they're in order, it is find among the white trees would be this one. And then page number 8, the first word is stones.
Okay.
Find among the white trees.
Blank, blank stones.
Blank, blank stones. Curious. Well, I mean, it's definitely a good thing that we came in here. Seeing new music sheets is good, I think. And like this obviously is of some significant value if we can find the. Look at how fucking conspicuous this is. We even have the sledgehammer. But I'm 14. And so I cannot do what needs to be done.
Only 14 summers.
Only 14 summers have I. The newspaper here talks like people who are playing an RP character in World of Warcraft. Oh, yes, I have only attained my 14th season. The commissary would be cool. The conference room gets us more doors, and also it's the conference room. It does do good things.
Yeah, let's do conference room.
I'm going to take it. We got a lot of resources. This is not the run where we had the laundry room, which is a real shame. This would be a good time for a laundry room. Okay, nothing else here to find. What do you think? We could secret passage to a green room. We've come across the house now, so it'll be an edge room, and there are good rooms available on the edges.
Yeah.
Do you want a secret passage green here? And then we still have the north
Yeah.
door out of the conference room to search for other stuff. Okay. So the patio's not terrible. The aquarium feels kind of like... What we do not need is more gems. The question is, though, like, do we want to do a redraw? Because I kind of want to save both the dice for trying to get the workshop. We have got to be able to make something out of the number of objects we have now, right?
Yeah.
So maybe we just take, like, the aquarium for opening up the most space.
Okay.
Fish. Compass. Draw floor plans leading north more frequently. That's interesting. An old shoe. Cool. Hi, buddy.
Fish.
Hi, buddy. There is another thing. Ah, coin. So, yeah. Archives. What do these rooms have in common? The archives, the laundry room. This looks like a hallway to me. The patio. The normal bedroom, maybe? I don't know. Okay. I am comfortable with West Wing Hall, I think. For door purposes. The drafting studio.
That's pretty good.
Well, I think we have to do that. That's a new thing, and it does a new thing. Oh, an experiment successful.
Right, because we paid 2 or more gems. So we gained a key.
And we have placed enough hallways to actually get something out of it. I totally forgot about that, and that's just rad. A very detailed paper model of a safe. Wait, no, the buttons work. Well, that's something. I guess a good time to have a magnifying glass. I would not have thought that was a thing that could be the case. So I would not have, imagined a need to come back for it. Great Hall partitioning plan for Wednesday, November 25th. Oh, this is cool. Drafting strategy. The January issue. Drafting strategy volume 1. Should come as no surprise that the first color that comes to mind when speaking about blueprints is blue. And while it is true most architectural plans and designs are found on blue paper, it is not the only color on which floor plans are drafted. In fact, originally they were not blue at all. Hundreds of years ago, the chemicals used to create floor plans caused coated paper to turn black when exposed to light. This raven hue, perhaps more fitting to the reign of Horus, was decidedly more difficult to affix an architect's revision edits to, and so blue was proposed as an ideal replacement as it had no political ties to any other realms. None of the flags are blue. By the Fourth Era, all floor plans were being printed on blue paper. Over the years, the fear of political connotation deferred to innovation, and use of colored prints eventually became popular with engineers and architects, who used hues as a way to differentiate various types of buildings and rooms. Violet prints, for example, are only used when creating plans for a bedroom, while an orange floor plan will immediately inform a contractor that the print contains designs for a hallway. In this issue of Drafting Strategy, we will explore the different features of each type of floor plan. Okay. So, most violet dreams. The bedroom is often referred to as the heart of the home, and with good reason. It is the place where people can rest during a long day, where they can kick up their feet for a bit and recharge their batteries. Architects always use violet-bordered floor plans for bedrooms, and the comforting purple hues encountered while drafting will usually let a weary traveler know they have found a room in which they can rest up. Architects may wish to utilize bedroom strategies if they are the type who love to explore and backtrack frequently. Having an excess of steps usually affords bedroom enthusiasts the mobility to be more carefree with their plans for the day. Bedroom
I am a bedroom enthusiast.
Fascinating. Green rooms are a wonderful way to bring the outdoors inside and provide a breath of fresh air for the home. The abundance of plant life, rich soil, and natural resources in these spaces makes them extremely appealing for architects who enjoy gardening and open spaces. These floor plans are extremely synergistic, and strategies centered around green will often involve drafting as many of this color as possible. The more green rooms you're able to draft in your house, the more powerful their effects will become. Additionally, these spaces are more likely than others to contain piles of dirt for digging. Watering can is listed as a synergy here. We've never used a sleeping mask. That we've seen one for sale in the commissary. The assumption here, it would be, it gives you extra steps whenever you get steps back. Or wait, we saw it somewhere, right? I don't know if it was in the commissary. If the bedroom is the heart of the home, then hallways are the arteries, serving as diverging paths that branch out to connect different parts of the house and lead visitors to their intended destination. While these orange corridors are often overlooked as one travels through them, they're a vital component of any house. The numerous doors found in each hall provide the means to add more rooms, and the more hallways you have, the less likely you are to draft yourself into a dead end. Hallway strategies are ideal for the architect who prefers more rooms and flexible options for expansion, over pure resources.
So the foyer working with the Great Hall would be
Yeah.
pretty good.
Yeah, I mean, it's all right. We already know how the Great Hall works, so. Golden trim. Shops are an essential part of any large estate, providing a convenient place for staff and residents to purchase items without having to leave the property. Including at least one of these floor plans in your house will provide you with an outlet for any coins that are found during the day. Strategies that involve generating lots of gold will usually want to draft multiple shop rooms to expand the range of shopping opportunities. These floor plans are bordered with shades of gold, enhancing the sense of luxury and refinement in the shopping experience. Whether it's a quick snack or a high-end fashion item, having a well-placed shop within the estate can greatly enhance the quality of life for the entire household. Negative space. Not like negative space, but like negative space. Red rooms are a daring addition to any home, providing a small element of danger that can excite and thrill both residents and visitors. While these rooms come with a certain level of risk, they also offer the potential for substantial returns, as they provide as many doors as they do opportunities. The doors and okay, they're the same thing. So.
Yeah, no, that's
Architects who are willing to take the plunge and draft a red room are often rewarded with a unique and striking space that leaves a lasting impression on those who enter. Just like in life, taking risks can be intimidating, but those who dare to venture outside their comfort zone can reap the greatest rewards. Synergies, skilled players. Go fuck yourself. You may, on rare occasions, notice some floor plans have more than one color in their design. These rooms are unique in that they simultaneously share all the characteristics of each type of room associated with those colors. For example, a floor plan with a violet and gold border would be best described as a bedroom shop, while an orange and green one might contain a corridor of greenery and plants. The aquarium is a very useful multicolored floor plan as it supports all of the color-based strategies listed in this volume. For example, it could give you bonus steps for having a nursery, as well as being unlocked for having a foyer. I think they're dramatically overstating how available a color-based strategy is in most cases.
Yeah.
As we reach the end of this volume of drafting strategy, we hope you have found valuable insights and colorful inspiration for your next architectural project. From the purples of our dreams to the reds of our fears, we believe that no ambition for an architect is too brave and no design is too colorful. To achieve our goals, we must delve deep into the spectrum, drawing upon all colors and ideas of daring merit. At the end of the day, color is just another tool. Some wield it to express their own creativity, some hoist it up as a display of their own power, some use it to calculate great sums. But all of us want to find a color we can call our own. That's a bad version of that thing, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Okay, not a lot of stuff is interactable here. Here's our potential new floor plans. So the kennel, each time you dig in a room, unlock all doors in that room. That's a neat one. Whenever you draw a dovecote while drafting, you may rotate floor plans. Also very good. Whenever you enter the vestibule, 3 of the doors in this room unlock, and the 4th one becomes locked. That's weird. I mean, it's the dovecote, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. A towering loft serving home to many of the feathered locals of Mount Holly. As a devout bird watcher and amateur ornithologist, Mary had petitioned her uncle for years for this to be built on the estate. Please do add this to the draft pool. Thank you. And then, there's only one thing in here that has a date on it. I'm just going to try this. It said November, right?
Yeah. I mean, I think what that's telling us is that is the way the Great Hall is going to be set up on November 25th.
Oh, I guess
because we entered the house November 7th.
I guess so. It was exactly the same the 2 times we have opened it up, but I guess That could just be coincidence. Don't think there's actually like any.
Are we?
Interesting stuff
What
here.
day are we on? Do you know?
It is day 19.
It is November 25th. Okay.
Well, maybe the date's got to include the year? Or maybe it's just we're just still looking for we're still looking for like a list of meaningful dates. I really thought for sure this was going to connect to that. But yeah, you're right, it is because it's today. Well, bummer. I thought we were going to get somewhere here. Okay, I can't move the magnifying glass around on it either. You have any other?
No, I think we really just need to figure out what the set of dates are, and
Yeah.
I do think it probably is related to the servants in the house.
Yeah, I think that makes a lot of sense. Okay, but we got some interesting stuff here, and we added a cool new room. Oh boy, a lot of locked doors down here. Well, we just get two keys back. Did you know? 13. So 1 squared plus 2 squared is 5. No, are we not? Is it? Am I supposed to be? That's right. We figured this out last time, right? It's supposed to be add them and then square the sum of the two things, right? Yeah. Okay. So you do the whole addition step, then you do the square, then you do the squaring if the square is there. All right. So 15 divided by 15, it turns out is 1. And then 1 plus 2 plus 3 squared is 36, minus 20 is 16, times 2 is 32, divided by 2 is 16, because that's what happens when you multiply and then divide a thing by the same number. A key card. Okay. Maybe actually a better pull in our current situation than a normal key. I think that's the first time we've seen that be a key card, right?
Yeah.
So that's interesting. We're gonna run out of keys eventually. Yeah, take me back inward. I don't feel like I have any idea where the workshop can appear. So I'm kind of just taking rooms that are not bad until we start to run low on stuff. And then when we no longer have good choices, we can try to force a workshop. I don't think we need an indoor nursery. Fairly likely to have just like interesting stuff appear in the cloister.
Yeah. And probably some dirt.
Oh, I was wrong. You can't just reach over the fence. Huh. And there really doesn't seem to be a way in. That's very strange.
There's probably something, just we don't know what, you know.
Yeah. Yeah, that's very weird indeed. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's been a minute since we've seen that pump room. Ooh.
Remember that if we draft the passageway, we'll get keys.
Oh. Yeah, and I wonder how it times that. I wonder if it'll give us 2 keys. I think it's worth finding out. It did. That was 2 keys. So it put the room down and then counted the room toward our hallway count. That's nice. That's nice of them. Laundry room is interesting, kind of. Locksmith is
I
interesting,
mean, we could use
kind
the laundry
of.
room to make keys, right?
You can swap your gems and keys, and you can turn coins into either, I believe. So yeah, we could produce a lot of resources. And we don't actually have anything to use the keys for, and that we haven't placed a shop at all here. That said,
Yeah.
none of this stuff's actually like the stuff we want.
Yeah. Do you want to redraw then?
I kind of want to redraw.
Okay.
The showroom is not really appropriate for our situation either. I'm going to redraw again. I would love to find the workshop, you know?
Yeah.
We would be able to buy stuff in the commissary. Yeah.
Okay.
Where's this pinging? Aha. Key is a little close to the color of the floor. An upgrade disc is interesting. Also, set of gems. Maybe nothing for the moment. We have enough steps that we can like move up into the corner and try to find something and come back if we. Well, but you gotta have your gems before you attempt the draft. Shit. All right. Wasting steps. I am gonna buy the set of gems, I think, then.
Okay.
Just burning steps. Okay. Come on, show me a workshop. Launder currency is a lot less exciting now. You know what? I guess just darkroom me because it doesn't really affect things too much here. This one's the workshop. That's the furnace, baby.
It is the furnace, baby.
Please don't say furnace, baby, as one word. I don't care for that. Ah, yeah, she got one of those furnace babies, you know. It's just bad luck, really. Oh, the pump room.
Okay.
It's got to be the pump room over the garage, right?
Yeah.
We see the pump room so rarely. Music room, locker room. It's all dead ends.
Music room gets us keys, and then we get 2 keys for it on top of that. So we get 4 more keys.
Yeah.
Are we gonna need that many keys?
Well, I mean, we're not placing the lavatory, so we're getting keys no matter what.
Yeah, but the one that costs 2 gems also ends up with 4 keys.
Yeah.
This one gem spreads keys throughout the house.
Well, it's going to put a
Yeah,
bunch of keys
I
in the
don't know.
conference room, that is.
Oh, right.
1, 2, 3,
Okay, no, that's probably better
4.
then.
Hold on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. It's almost all of our steps to get back to the conference room.
Yeah.
Although, actually, we might be able to take a shorter path depending on what rolls out of the door of the cloister. Yeah, I'm inclined to do this, then.
Okay.
Not that it's a huge priority. The important thing is adjusting the pump room. So... There's like a key or a coin. There it is. Okay, so let's think about this for a second. Lowering the amount of water in the reservoir is what would get us if we were to pull the tomb again, you reckon?
Yeah. We have an aquarium, right? Can we get to the aquarium?
Yeah. Yes. So you want to refill the pool?
Yeah, because the aquarium is going to be easier to drain, I would think.
And pulling the pool doesn't seem to have actually done anything.
Not yet. Yeah.
Okay. So...
Is there a boiler connection to this? Is there a conduit in this room at all?
There's a conduit. Why do you ask?
Okay. Well, I wonder if that other boiler is part of the puzzle here. If eventually we'll need to power
this room does with the something for sure.
There's a whole nother tank.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, to fully drain the reservoir, we would probably need that. Right?
Yeah.
Okay. So, flushing into the pool. Pool is, we reckon, pipe 6. So go like that. Okay. And then, so... This pump only connects to this tank. Mm-hmm. Is it the case that there is no way to get the water from this tank into... I mean, obviously it doesn't matter right now because there isn't any water in it, but... Is it actually the case that there's no way to get that water from that tank directly into that room? That seems like a nightmare to have to negotiate. Okay, so this we can pull from the aquarium with this tank. And then we can switch it back and dump it in the pool. And then switch it back and pull the rest. This, at least, is a fairly simple task. Okay. Looking at our step count. Just trying to make sure that I'm, like... Going to the aquarium is not good for us. Boy, you know what we need is we need the cloister to show us the dining room. That would really make things easier.
Or the pool for that matter.
Yeah.
Either of those.
Okay. I guess let's head back. So I want to go... Do we want to head into the locker room? The keys will have been placed anyway, and we don't have enough keys on us to open like a significant number of lockers at the moment, I don't think. So yeah, I guess. Yeah. Passageway... Pool. Yeah. Show me something rad. Kitchen actually is pretty good.
Yeah.
Kitchen lets me buy food. Is there any free food? Any loose food? No. I wonder what the value of changing the water flow to the kitchen is. So the club sandwich, the chef salad. Oh, the chef salad's real good, right?
Yeah, we got a lot of green rooms.
That was 5 coins for 35 steps. All right. So all of a sudden we get to do everything we wanted to do. We are going to step through to here. Check this out. This dead ends no matter what, so we may as well take, like, the lavatory or something. But this is the actual end of the house, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's a shame. I guess at this point then it wouldn't hurt to take the maid's chamber. Give me another chance.
Don't forget we've opened one of the outside things too, so maybe our keys in that will be useful.
Yeah, that's true. All right, so let me step inside the maid's chamber. Is there anything in here of value? You would not expect there to be items on the floor in the maid's chamber, given what the maid's chamber does. It doesn't seem like there's anything that we would be looking for with the magnifying glass, but it has seen on at least one occasion letters that for sure did not exist otherwise. So I kind of wish they hadn't done that to us because it makes it really hard to know. Okay, so Mila is the name on the broom. Mila is probably the name of the first name of the maid.
Okay.
I misremembered what that statue looked like. This is exactly why I wanted to come in here, because I wanted to like verify some stuff now that we know more things. Okay, I think we probably got what we're getting out of this. Oh, this is kind of interesting. Is there any kind of significant detail? What is that in your pocket?
Good question.
Okay. It's a weird thing. Anyway, back to the aquarium. Very disappointed in this. Alright, so having drained all the water from the aquarium, what has that accomplished? Huh. Well, it's made that obvious.
Okay, so archives.
No change in the laundry room scene.
Arrow. Filing cabinet. There's an X
in
the
front
patio.
of the grill. Okay.
Patio X on.
We don't have the patio this time, right? No, we don't.
Oh, that's too bad.
Blueprints, right? Like it's always
Blueprints.
you never have the rooms you want when you want to have them. All right, yeah, I guess there's nothing else to do except go outside.
Yeah, we've looked at all the little dioramas here.
Yeah. No, sorry, I hadn't looked at this one. But this one doesn't seem to have...
Okay.
Right,
Well,
it seems like,
dead.
yeah, only a couple of them have anything interesting in them. Well, now that we've seen this and we have a million steps, actually.
Do you want to?
I want to go and
put the water back.
Well, I definitely want to do something to the pump room. So, Yeah, we can experiment a little bit. It's like it's easy enough to pull the water from the kitchen, right? So that runs to here. Does it not? Kitchen being pipe 4. Oh, because I have this in a not helpful direction. I don't know what I was thinking there. The kitchen's already empty.
Oh, well, it wasn't before. Okay.
Hold on. So if the kitchen's water is off. You're right, it wasn't before, and it shouldn't be, I don't think. It's weird that it is, actually. So
Hang
rooms
on,
1 and 2 can access both pumps. Rooms 5 and 6 can only access this pump. Room 3 actually also can only access this pump. And then room 4 can only access this one.
Okay.
Huh. Yeah, I don't remember draining the kitchen. But, like, I kind of want to pull... So let's dump water out.
Back in the aquarium.
We can drain 8 units of water from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So it's not. We're not going to be able to get either the fountain or the reservoir completely out without powering the bigger boiler. But we can decrease the reservoir height somewhat. So 2. Because it wouldn't need to decrease very much for the rowboat to be usable across that one room, right?
Yeah.
We just needed to go down some. This is only 6 units.
So if we put the water back into the kitchen and the aquarium, like more of the water,
Yeah.
it'll create more room.
Yeah, but also it doesn't quite seem like everything's working. Because like I said, we should be able to hold... I guess maybe the reservoir was filled up even beyond the capacity of this thing to display? Very strange. Very strange stuff. Yeah, see, it's only pulling 6 units of water out to fill these tanks, which each say they're filling to 4. It's weird. That's as low as we can get that. And I guess that's how we'll leave it.
Yeah.
And then...
Is the water running any better in the kitchen?
We should, yeah, probably pop our head in there. Literally nothing has changed. Strange. Okay.
What a weird house.
Yeah, you know, I'm starting to feel like maybe this house isn't totally normal. It's just this It's a weird feeling I'm getting. We're glad you're okay.
Yeah, I was worried about that. Uh, Locker room?
Yeah, I guess so. We do not have infinite steps. We have enough to check out the locker room. And that the place outside is open permanently, so.
Yeah.
Is there anything of interest in the locker room? There are so fucking many openable lockers. We're going to start at the back wall and just check as many as we can. Traveling longer distances across the estate and grounds. Okay. Kirk Darren is a pseudonym. What a weird thing to be written on a... Right? That's a strange thing to find in someone's locker. Here's a whole hell of a lot of money. Mathematics worksheet. Find each sum without using signs. 6 or O. Huh. This is odd.
Yeah.
What do you reckon? What's being communicated here?
I don't I'm really. Oh well, no, that's
So the blues edition, right?
Mm-hmm.
So there's a way to read this that's like 7, 13, and then the yellow was subtraction. So it's like 10
Yeah.
and 4 and 2. But what do we do with that?
I don't know.
Okay. Refund me a key. Thanks. Right, absolutely nothing. And this one. Okay. An apple. Well, with that, I suppose let's get a move on.
Yeah.
10 steps. Okay.
Do we have a place for an upgrade disc at all? Laboratory.
Yeah, we have to be able to get there. 1,
Yeah.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. We won't.
Okay.
So, yeah, I don't guess there's a point in buying any of this stuff. We can get steps from the kitchen, but we can't obviously spend all of our money on an upgrade disc and also get steps from the kitchen. This is going to let us make it back outside and explore that area.
Okay.
Sorry, we want to go through the pantry. I'm really pretty annoyed that we didn't end up getting a workshop even after having 4 dice to use on it. You know?
Yeah.
Is this the right? Yeah, I guess this is the right way.
Yeah. And are we hitting the code check on the way out?
A right way. Well, yeah, of course.
Okay.
It's right there for a reason. So, I do think that the metal detector has done some very solid work for us. However, I kind of think I'm inclined to put the shovel in. We still might get use out of the shovel, though, is the thing. I don't know. I the shovel is very, very useful. You get a lot of stuff out of shoveling. Sledgehammer can be too, for sure. A key card could be too. But I think it's the shovel, right?
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
All right, and then let's go check out that door. So it's the door over here, if I'm remembering the path correctly. Indeed. Oh my. A small data microchip. So theoretically, we would want to find 2 more such things to plug in here. And once all 3 of them are in, this door opens. We certainly have not seen any of that kind of stuff. What about... Shoot. Randolph M. Root? Okay.
Password. Password.
Well, this is a login.
Oh, okay.
Password would be the thing you would enter in the next stage.
But what if... Okay.
You know what I didn't try.
Your username was password. Your password was username.
Okay. Admin password, not the answer. Root, not the answer.
Do you want to try the pseudonym we got? Kirk Darren?
Why?
Or Marigold?
Why Marigold?
It's the other pseudonym? I don't know.
Yeah, but this is the Blackbridge network.
I don't know what Blackbridge is.
It's a part of the estate. Our mom is not the network administrator here.
All right.
The only person whose name we know who interacted with the computers in a professional capacity is Randolph M., the lab technician. And unfortunately, that's probably the wrong part of his name to know to use his network login.
Yeah.
So I think we just don't have this.
The only other last name we have besides Sinclair is Babbage.
And Ravain and Epson and Peterson. Lowry.
Oh, I suppose those are our last. Yeah, never mind.
Well, this is a curious spot and not too useful to us right now.
I like that we're getting more of this kind of weird mystery stuff to tangle with. Like that for me is the meat of the thing. And
yeah, the stuff outside of the drafting is the interesting stuff. Do we know a story of any significant dates happening that have to do with the garden? Or the gardener, or... We don't, right?
No.
Fooey and Fi and whatever. All right. Well, I guess then we're probably just calling it for this run. I think we've done what we can do. Did we hold on? Yeah. I don't think there's a coin in the well for this run.
Oh, okay.
So let me toss a coin in the well real quick. I sure hope this is accomplishing something. The coin in the well part. I sure hope we're, getting anything at all done there. Note that this stayed on.
Okay.
That's good news.
That's good news.
Don't know exactly what to do with it, but it's good news. It did not... No, sadly, it did not light up any of the lights in here. Oh, well. All right. Calling it a day. Episode got pretty long. It's always the last run. What would be the last run? It turns out to be kind of a good one. Because Blueprints knows, and it's actively disrespectful of your time.
Yeah. No,
This was, in fact, a garden manor. I'm really actually disappointed that we stopped pulling green rooms after we left the East Wing. I was expecting when we made it all the way across the house so quickly that we'd pull a couple of those West Side green rooms, but didn't really happen.
Yeah.
In particular, I was looking forward to the patio, because the patio, it feels like the patio always has a bunch of dirt spots. All right, well, Toolshed doing good work as always. That's going to be it for us for today. Thank you all so much for watching. That one got really long. When you come back next time, we kind of accomplished our like biggest focus goal, which was turn on the machine in the laboratory. And now I guess we're just waiting for shit to line up again. There's still a bunch of shed rooms, hovel rooms that we have yet to examine thoroughly. But aside from that, just waiting for stuff to line up and cobbling together information and stuff. There's much yet to do. Yeah.
The goal for me is to use the boiler to power the pump room.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense.
That's the next big puzzle we can interact with.
And we got to find a way to get to the basement door for that key eventually. All right. Like I said, lots to do, and we're going to do some of it, hopefully, next time.
Next
And
time.
we'll see you then.